What's up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. Brad and I are going to have a great show for you this Tuesday. Get you ready for the betting week. Brian, my man, what's up, buddy? How we doing?
Doing good. Another bad Saturday, unfortunately. Hopefully our listeners faded me rather than tail me. If you tailed me, I'm sorry. I'm going to get it together this week for sure.
There you go, man. I got to put salt in a wound, but I'm not going to lie. I had an unbelievable weekend.
Boy, I love it.
It was nice, man. We hit that prop bet, Justin Fields, under completions. Arizona State hit. Iowa hit. Michigan pushed. Ole Miss was the only one really all weekend that screwed me. Other than that, Titans hit, Bills hit, Saints hit. Even the parlay, plus 425. Yeah, dude, I'm not going to lie, man. I had a really, really good weekend.
And Ole Miss,
yeah, man. And we were 1 second away on Ole Miss, dude. 1 second away.
What was my prop? Did I do? I'm sorry to interrupt. Did I do Pitts over receiving yards?
Yeah, you hit that.
Okay, good. And they still didn't throw him the ball enough. I don't know if you were watching that game. They're still not throwing him the ball enough.
I know. They need to focus on him more. And we're gonna jump right into that. Everybody, welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell, CBS Sportsline, alongside Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you every Tuesday and Friday by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Everyone, make sure to download that BetMGM app. Use promo code A to Z Sports. You will get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. Right now, they'll put that money or that credit in your account. Get you all set up. I've done it, used it. It's fantastic. You got plenty to bet on today. So, yeah, that's BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call Tennessee Redline at 800-889-9789. So, Brian, we're going to jump right into it here. So we always start our Tuesday show with the local look ahead. All right, and let me get it here on the screen so everybody can see what we are referencing. And you know what? I'm going to read these out game by game. And you give me your thoughts after each one, all right? So first, we got Titans, Monday Night Football. The Bills are coming to town. Bills are a 5.5-point favorite, a total of 54. What do you think?
Oh, man.
No, that's correct. That's the right answer. Yeah, that's the correct answer. Yeah.
Well, I'm not interested in going against the Bills right now, but it might be a tad bit of a letdown after, a huge win against the Chiefs. It is the second week in a row traveling, so there are some potential red flags. We don't know about Julio, and I'm behind on my NFL. I haven't looked at the injury report. I think Buffalo got out of that game fairly unscathed, right?
Correct.
No major thoughts right now, but I would have a hard time going against Buffalo. I will just say that, and that'll be what I say right now today.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I stayed up that night. What was that? Sunday night. Just for it to open, I got Bills -3. It's already up to 5.5 and 6 in a lot of books. Look, it's nothing against the Titans, but the Bills are the best team in the NFL. They have the number one offense. They have by
far. You say you got them at -3 on Sunday night?
Yep.
Oh, that's a great get.
Great get. No, yeah, not even 3.5. Got them at 3.
Right.
Look, they're the best offense in the NFL. They're the best defense in the NFL. They've won 4 straight road games by 18-plus points or more. That Chiefs game was the closest road game they've had in 4. Like, they are just destroying people. And look, if this were a noon game on Sunday in Nashville, I think that there could be some hangover potential. The fact that it's a Monday night game, I think, kind of erases that. And then the biggest concern for me, from a Titans perspective, is they absolutely remember what happened last year on that COVID week on a Tuesday where they played. The Titans beat them by 30. I'm telling you, this team is out for blood. If you're a Titans fan, look away because they might try to run it up. All right, next game. We've got Ole Miss at Tennessee in Knoxville. A night game, ESPN, I believe. Yep. Ole Miss is a 3-point favorite, a total of 81. 81, Brian. What are your thoughts here?
That's the highest total we've seen in college football this year. And it's even our friends at BetMGM, at least according to Vegas Insider's odds, have not released the total yet. But I see that most books are at 81, like you said, but FanDuel's all the way up to 82.5. Wow. That is I wrote down on Sunday, I wrote down 76.5 for the total, but I'm not implying I'm interested in the under, especially after that shootout, the Ole Miss and Arkansas last week. And, man, Tennessee, they have looked great the last 2 weeks. I mean, albeit against not a murderer's row, but, I mean, if you're just spanking them bad, it is what it is. Tennessee looks great, man. And if they can win this one, man, I would think the fan base would be full throttle behind Josh Heupel because, and really Tennessee had the lead by 3 at Florida late second quarter. Did not play well in the second half, but, that's so let's say 8 to that's 10 of the last 12 quarters that Tennessee has played really well. And I don't have any opinion on this game right now. Let's see. I wrote down Ole Miss -4 and I said 76.5. But sorry, I don't have any opinions right now on this.
No, you're fine. I certainly do for the both of us. Let me say this. Tennessee starts games very well. You're right. First halves, first quarters especially. They scored 28 points in the last 2 first quarters. I'll say this. My play on this is the under of 81. And I think Wes Rucker of GoVols 24/7 made the best point yesterday. The only 2 defenses in the country that have consistently gone up against these fast tempo, high octane offenses are Ole Miss and Tennessee with their own offenses, right? Tennessee can play a little defense. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying the last 2 games, Missouri and South Carolina are, national championship competitors. But Tennessee's defense isn't bad. They can get pressure, behind the line of scrimmage. I'm going to go under 81 here. I think Tennessee can win this game. I think Ole Miss can win this game, right? Like, it all depends on who shows up. But I think that this number is absurd. I think it's huge. And also, don't get me wrong, it can be hit. I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, that's, 40-plus points each team? Like, it can happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different game. Yeah.
And you get some time-consuming drives that end in field goal attempts. Those are huge wins when you've got such a big total and you play the under. So huge
wins and turnovers. Look, sure. Ole Miss's defense is going to have to do something. They've looked terrible, awful the last 2 weeks. Now, they've also gone up against Alabama and Arkansas. So I'll give them a little credit there. But, yeah, I just – 81. I mean, my God. Like, it's one of those where I'm going to bet it just because the number is banana land. And if I lose it, fine. I have no problem losing a bet. I can – whatever. Don't care. But, yeah, you give me 81 – like, yeah, I'm going to roll with that. All right, last game. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. South Carolina is an 18.5-point favorite at home. Total of 51. I'm just going to go ahead and give you mine real quick. Under 51. I think this game's probably pretty ugly. Yep.
Let's see. What did I write down? I wrote down South Carolina 14.5 on Sunday, but I'm not implying I'm going to be sprinting to the window to back Vandy. Although Vandy did play Florida a lot tougher than the 42-zip score indicated. They missed 3 field goals. They had a touchdown on 4th and goal get reversed on replay. But anywho, I'm just not in any hurry to back either one of these teams.
Correct.
Now.
Correct. And I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like, I 100% agree. There's nothing on either team that screams for me to actually, go put money down. All right, before we jump into the SEC real quick, I do want to highlight something in the chat here. Zach Goodman says, so feel like the Braves are winning tonight. Says also the Braves unders hit all 3 playoff games. Dude, the Braves are throwing Morton. I agree. I think that game starts at 4:25 Central. I think so. I mean, the Braves have played in crazy games. We saw yesterday the base running flub, they've had, but this team is good, man. Like they just win. So I wanted to highlight that. While we pretty dominantly talk about football, but yeah, I mean we got baseball going on. It's very important. All right, in the SEC, Week 7. All right, let me switch over this look here so everybody can see. Let's get these scores or these lines up here. All right, I'm not going to go through and read each one of them, but I'll go ahead and tell you, Brian, the 3 that I have that I've kind of circled so far. Florida -10. at LSU. Look, LSU just put, how do you pronounce it? Butte?
Keyshawn Butte.
Okay. Let me just say this. He was the only human being on that team that understood what was going on, that knew what was going on in the red zone. And I'm including coaches in that too. This LSU team is an absolute disaster. A disaster. They get across the 50, and I'm telling you, they hyperventilate. They do not know what they're doing. The play calling is atrocious. Max Johnson is atrocious as a quarterback. That player, Butte, no hyperbole. He was the only human being that had a clue of what was going on. And now that he's out, and you have Dan Mullen, who still is kind of pissed off, right? Like, I saw him in that game last week. He wasn't happy. Like, I think that this provides a perfect spot for Florida to go in and just wreck house. I get 10 points is a lot, and it might even be 10.5 at some places now. But Florida is going to absolutely demolish LSU in every faction of this game. I'm all over it. I'll eat 10. I'll eat 11. Whatever. Florida is going to demolish LSU in this one. Second one, Kentucky, Georgia, over 44.5. Look, I know that sounds crazy, and I'm not putting a lot out there. I love watching this Kentucky team, and I think that they play with Georgia a little bit. But Georgia's going to win. I'm not touching 23.5. Like, also, side note, the days of getting Georgia, below 20, those are done. Like, that's over with. The books have lost too much money on them. Those days are done. So that's why you're seeing 23 and the hook. I don't want to touch that, even though, it kind of goes against my philosophy here that, Michigan, Iowa, and the Bills, like, you just take it. But they ain't eating no 23.5. Well, maybe the Bills. But, yeah, I'm not touching it. I think the over 44.5 hits. Georgia probably gets to 30, maybe 35. I don't know. I think Kentucky scores. I don't think they're going to, I don't think they're getting whooped 28-0. I don't think that they're going to win. But I think that they make it somewhat competitive, right? So, yeah, I'm going to go with the over 44.5. Last one, I already talked about it. Ole Miss, Tennessee, under 81. That number is just absurd. It's an absurd number. And again, if I lose that bet, fine. I want everyone to understand what my thought process is here. If I lose it, I lose it. But I'm going to take my shot with that. All right, Brian, what you got? SEC picks this week.
Okay, Auburn, Arkansas, just a little tidbit here. This is the first time Arkansas has been favored in an SEC game since October of 2017 when they were 3-point favorites at South Carolina, and they lost 48-22. I made the Gators 10.5. I'm leaning toward Allen's thought process there. I mean, LSU has now lost. I don't even know that it's arguably, without question, their two best players. Keyshawn Butte, rhymes with Etouffee, and Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be a probable top 5 pick, but for sure top 10 pick in the draft. And they lost their leading sack guy, Andre Anthony, and then Neil Farrell and Miles Brennan remain out. John Emery, the running back, out. It sounds like Coach O is going to be out soon. So I'll probably be on Florida in that game. So A&M at Mizzou, this is your vintage letdown scenario. However, this Missouri defense is abysmal. Just give the ball to Isaiah Spiller 25 times and they'll be good. I try not to, play teams in a major letdown scenario. So I don't know that I'll play A&M, but if I had to pick it, I would probably pick A&M. Yeah, I made them 14 in this game because North Texas scored 35 against them last week.
Missouri's defense is atrocious.
Horrible. This is true. Okay. I might take Kentucky this week. What concerns me, Marquand McCall, their starting defensive tackle, was already out, and now their other starting defensive tackle, Octavius Oxendine, he was having a big year, and he is out actually for the whole season. So that's not good. And then Josh Ali, who was their best receiver last year. Obviously, Wan'Dale Robinson's their best receiver this year, but Ali had 54 receptions, 473 yards last year, and is their second leading receiver this year. He missed the game against LSU, and he's very doubtful this week. However, I did see there are also some key players for Georgia that I have seen popping up on the injury report this week, including stud receiver Jermaine Burton. We still don't know about Daniels. And I mean, I tell you what, man, if Bennett just keeps playing well, I don't know that I just don't stick with him if I'm Kirby.
Can I hit pause real quick?
No, go. Yeah, definitely. I want to hear that.
You sent a tweet. I think it was Saturday night, or it might have been Sunday. Exactly what you just said there. That Kirby, quit screwing around with it. This kid's your starting quarterback. I hit like on it, and I knew you were busy. I didn't want to wrap you up in a 30-minute conversation there. I couldn't have agreed more with that sentiment. So keep going. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that was fine.
I wanted to highlight that you were the first person that I saw really having that argument, not argument, but putting that out there publicly. I 1,000,000,000,000% agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, you can't depend on that guy. I mean, he anyway.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
That's why I stopped too. I didn't want to get you going while you were working.
Oh, no, you're fine. I didn't want to belabor the point. I think everybody knows I'm not a huge JT Daniels guy. Okay, and so then Vandy, South Carolina. Don't want anything to do with that. Alabama at Mississippi State. Whew, man,
it feels like a bounce back for Alabama, right?
I'm thinking that, yeah.
But I'm with you. I didn't take it either. I know. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. I just, Mississippi State has had 2 weeks to prepare.
Yep.
And look, Costello got a concussion early in that game at Bama last year, and that's pretty much when they went to Will Rogers full time because Costello was basically out for the rest of the season. But, we really didn't get a chance to see Leach's offense against Saban. And that was still so early in the year, and they had so many opt-outs, talking about Mississippi State, obviously. So we can't glean anything from last year. But, man, this quarterback, Will Rogers, is playing really well. And I know that you can't, sometimes it's apples to oranges. But, Mississippi State just went into College Station and won outright. And then it's been chilling at the house, getting healthy and preparing for Bama. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I haven't decided anything on that yet. And obviously I haven't seen a first half line or anything of that nature. So God, I've been basically a fence sitter this whole segment, but I was going to say, I might be on Kentucky. Will Levis played really good last week. That's a lot of points.
It's a ton of points. While you're looking that up, think about this. The difference between the spread and the total is less than the spread, right? You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between the spread and the total of what, 21, roughly?
44 and a half. That's exactly what it is.
This is a massive spread with a super low total. Kentucky's going to score. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's going to be 35-0. So I don't know. I'm with you. That's a ton of points, man.
Yeah, and Will Levis, there's one thing about him. He's a big guy. I mean, I know KJ Jefferson's a big guy too, but I don't think KJ Jefferson was 100% in that game at UGA the other week. But anyhow, Levis is a big guy, and he can move. I don't know that he might be faster than KJ Jefferson. But look, Rodriguez at running back and Wan'Dale Robinson, man, that guy is really, really, really good. And Stoops will have those guys ready. And they got a lot of momentum, man. And let's see. Last year, they played a 14-3 game with Georgia. 2 years ago, a 21-0 game, which, that's not very good. But they didn't have a Will Levis or a Wan'Dale Robinson, some big-time offensive weapons. So I know we need to move on. So let's do it. I'll let everybody know on Friday if I'm going to be on.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, this is a completely different Kentucky team, than what we've seen. All right, jump into the NFL here. Let me switch this up. All right, get our Week 6 odds and lines up. All right, look. So again, not going to read through every one of them. Everybody can see it there on the screen. But I've got 3 plays. First one, I already said Bills -3. I would take Bills -5.5. I just. There are issues here with Tennessee. I thought that they played much better against Jacksonville offensively. Defensively, they did not. It was not pretty at all. And if they had issues, which they did, with Trevor Lawrence, buddy, Josh Allen is going to eat you alive. So yeah, I just think that if you're a Titans fan this week, this turn your head, man, because they're going to do this to everybody. Like they're going to get a lot of people here, but it's just kind of your time. Second one, Packers -3.5 against the Bears in Chicago. Look, I wrote this up on Sportsline, and I'm going to use it verbatim because I kind of like it. Brian, anybody out there, you ever kind of start a new project at work, and it's something new, and for the first couple weeks, you're kind of working through some things. You have some frustrations here or there. You're progressing, but it's just not perfect yet, right? Like you're kind of working through all that, but then you just kind of walk in one day or wake up one morning, and it just clicks, right? Everything slows down in a good way, and you're like, okay, we're here. We've got it. That's what this game is for the Green Bay Packers, right? We saw last week, Mason Crosby misses 3 field goals. The offense is up, down, Had a tough game 2 weeks ago against the Steelers. Had just a weird game against the Bengals. But you know what? This is the get-right game. This is where the Packers exercise their demons. No one has taken the brunt of Aaron Rodgers more than the Chicago Bears. And quite frankly, that's a home game for him too. He doesn't care, right? I think that this is a perfect one for them. 3.5 is an excellent number. 4.5. 4.5 is an excellent number. Plus, throw in that the Bears have injury, questions at the quarterback position. I mean, Justin Fields is going to play, but it's there. I think that this is just a perfect setup for the Packers. Lastly, my third one, Broncos -3.5 at home. Look, even before addressing John Gruden, the last 2 weeks, the Raiders' offense has been abysmal. They scored 9 points against the Bears last week at home, right? They lost 2 straight. Their play calling was atrocious. Their offense was atrocious. All season, they haven't gotten anything started in the first half of games. Then you throw in that your head coach, usually if a team gets rid of their head coach in the season, I kind of like to ride with them because I think it's like a relief in the locker room and there's a little bit of a boost because everybody's like, look, whether we liked him, didn't like him, it's done. We all knew it was going to happen. We could finally just kind of breathe again. That's not this case, right? This came very quick. I also don't know if 100% of players are going to agree with it, right? And I think they're going to spend a lot of time this week kind of talking about it. And the more that they talk about it, the more I like the Broncos because the Broncos are in desperate need of a win too. And Vic Fangio and that team and Teddy Bridgewater, they need a win badly. So you got them at home. I'd much rather have 3 than 3.5, but the Broncos and Teddy are going to get this thing done. All right, so that's the 3 that I got. What you got, bud?
Well, everybody knows I'm going against the Jags. Everybody knows that, even though Miami does not look very good. But I mean, look, what was Oscar talking about with the Trevor Lawrence isn't comfortable with a quarterback sneak? Get your star quarterback's name out of your mouth. God, that guy. Jeez. But Dolphins. No need for any great explanation there. Yep. Let's see. Man, that Chargers-Ravens game is going to be fire. Can't wait for that one. Fire. I'm just going to start taking I did it this past week, or I've done it back-to-back weeks. I'm doing a little something right. Not a lot, but I did doing this right. I'm taking Cowboys Overs. So, Mac Jones and the Pats they struggled offensively the whole game, but then the second half they kind of got it going a little bit. And look, the Cowboys defense is just not. They're doing a great job of creating turnovers for sure, but they're giving up a lot of yards, and who knows how that game goes if Daniel Jones does not get hurt. But I'll be on Patriots Cowboys over 49.5, and I might be on the Cowboys as well. Again, I'm sorry, everybody. I have not been over injuries in the NFL yet, so I'm not prepared to fire. I'll fire on the Dolphins against the Jags already, but I'll fire on Dallas, New England over. Oh wow, and I see, and you wrote that down late last night. It was at 49.5. Now I'm seeing it's all the way up to 50.5, and even 51 at a few books. So if you're thinking like me, you might want to go ahead and take that. And I'll go ahead, when this show's over, I'll go ahead and go get that before it goes up even more. Let's see. Man, might be dealing with some backup. The Rams line with the Giants makes me feel like Daniel Jones might not be playing, because I don't think that line would be that high. But now we know Galladay is out. But, man, my guy Kadarius Toney stepping up big last week. Lost his cool there. Glad he didn't get suspended. But he's getting a bad rap for that. That guy kind of took a cheap shot at him before.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He absolutely did. And, look, beyond that part, been screaming since the offseason. The Giants need to get him the ball. What are you doing? Like, I'll stop right there. Get that dude the ball, especially this team. I get it if – you're the Chiefs, and you're like, hey, get in line, buddy. We got a lot of skill guys here. You don't, Giants. Give him the damn ball. Anyways, keep going.
No doubt. And he was terrific last week. So, so really right now I'm just saying fire on the Cowboys over with the Pats and the Dolphins, and once I go over injuries, I'll have a lot more opinions on that Colts line stands out to me, though. That shouldn't be that high.
It's a big line.
Yeah, I might be on the Texans too, but I'll report back on Friday with all that.
I got you. All right, now getting to our last segment here, and we're gonna kind of quickly just put out our teams so far, for our perfect parlay. This doesn't mean that we locked it in. We're just kind of whiteboarding teams here, that we like. And then we'll jump to Brian. You got some thoughts on the college game tonight. So it's another 6-leg. And again, I haven't locked it in yet, but I think I'm going to. All right. So it's plus 354. All right. 4 NFL teams, 2 college teams. So the Packers, the Rams, the Broncos, the Bills, all these are money line. Packers, Rams, Broncos, Bills, Georgia, Alabama. Those 6, 354. What do you got?
All right. In college, all money line here. Oregon at home to Cal.
Yep.
Florida on the road in the red stick at LSU. Cincy at home to UCF. Virginia at home to Duke. Iowa at home to Purdue. And I think that's enough.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Now, the game that we got tonight. Break it down. What's the line? Who we got? What do you think?
Okay. UL Lafayette is hosting App State as about a 4.5 point dog. Our friends at BetMGM have it at 4.5 and 56.5. Okay. So App State came into the Sun Belt in 2014 and they beat UL Lafayette 8 in a row, 7 times by double digits. However, last year, UL Lafayette got the win over App State. Let me get to their page real quick. They won at App State. UL Lafayette has only been a home underdog once under Billy Napier, and they won outright against Arkansas State his first year in 2018. However, they have been an underdog total, counting bowl games, counting home, they had a couple neutral regular season games, played Mississippi State at the Superdome in New Orleans. So their total underdog stats are 9-3-1 against the spread. And again, 1-0 with an outright win as a home dog. Now, they have not been very impressive since the game at Texas. They've won 3 close games, and then they had a blowout win over Ohio. So they're only 1-4 against the spread for the year, but they have won 4 in a row. and this is a huge game in conference. As a road favorite under Sean Clark, App State is only 1-3-1 against the spread. And I will also say the under is on 7-2 in the 9 head-to-head meetings between these teams since App State entered the Sun Belt. Again, UL Lafayette has not been covering numbers, but they've been heavily favored in those games, except for the game at Texas. I'm gonna go with UL Lafayette plus 4.5 at home. Oh yeah, and a couple other stats. So the Raging Cajuns are 25-4 straight up in their last 29 games. At home under Napier, they are 15-3 straight up at home. And quarterback Levi Lewis has a 7-1 TDI&T ratio this year, 1 rushing touchdown for his career, 57-14 career TDI&T ratio, and 10 rushing touchdowns. Levi Lewis and the Raging Cajuns, I like them as home dogs tonight.
I like that. My man Emery Hunt feels the same way. He likes him too. He's all over him. So,
deal.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much. That's all the time we have for you today. We really do appreciate you tuning in, seriously, every single week. Appreciate you in the chat. Brian, we just want to make sure we tell everybody, download that BetMGM app. Use promo code A2Z Sports. Get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. You got college football tonight. Brian just gave you a great bet on that. We've got Major League Baseball playoffs. Got NFL coming up. I mean, we've got everything. So,
what did you say on the Braves tonight? The under and the Braves?
Yep. They're throwing our man Charlie Morton on short rest. I think it's the first. Yeah. So,
okay. Let's go, Braves.
Solid, boy. Yeah. So, everybody, thank you so much again. Thank you, A2Z Sports. Thank you so much to BetMGM as well. Hey, Brian, let's cash some tickets, buddy.
Let's do it, my man.
All right. See you
Good
guys.
luck, everybody.